Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to the channel. We talk all about collectibles here, and I have a stack of some loose bills. We're going to go through it. We'll see if we can find anything, well, at least collectible, but hopefully worth more than face value. So, if you're not into collectibles at all, you're probably into turning your money into more money. So follow my channel if you want to learn all about coins, banknotes, weird collectibles. Starting off, we'll go through the serial number. Nothing crazy jumping out. Love the $5 design, but it is on the list of ones that'll be redesigned in the next few years, starting with the 10. Nice depiction of the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Nothing crazy there. 2017. Keep an eye out for shifts in the seals, the serial numbers, of course, fancy serial numbers. Issues with the ink and overall print. These ones look pretty sweet so far, so different than my normal banknote searches where they're all jacked up. Missing a bunch of ink here. You can tell this one's obviously damaged, but it's been water damaged. Folded up, seen its day, 2021 series, so actually pretty new. But you can see how much the word 1 is worn off, in fact, most of it. But you can also see where this tear is, not to get boring. That inner layer. So it's a cotton linen mix. It's a 3-phase printing process to prevent some of the issues you see on this one. So it's, actually stood up despite the damage. Nothing crazy. A little bit of a high 7 here, kind of a stuck digits where the rotary dial that does the numbers for your serial numbers gets stuck and prints one of them high. Nothing on the back, and don't be alarmed by that. It's not highlight or anything. It's my little light. Otherwise, it'll be a little dark, and I don't want you to be like, hey, I can't see anything. Lots of 7s going on. If there was more repetition, if it was just 4s and 7s, or even 3 digits, I would have held on to it, but let me know if you would hold on to this block repeater here of 7s. Normally, though, people like it when the rest of the serial number has something collectible to it. Nothing going on. U.S. Treasury building, kind of a cool building. You'll see that in some videos of mine coming up here in the next month or so. Hey, Star Note. I'll be going to D.C., so I'll get a bunch of video. You can skip the ones you don't want to watch and watch the ones on the BEP tour and stuff about money, of course. Nothing crazy here. 0s, 8s, but a nice little Star Note. This one looks printed pretty decent. Little fold in the corner, so a little damage. Get that straightened out. On my website, varietyerrors.com, amongst others, you can look up the Star Note, so I'll do that and show you that at the end of the video and what the information is. But that'll let us know a little more information about errors to look for and things like that. Things that can enhance the value for the Star Note is going to be, of course, if this repetition was all the way through. So if it has like a fancy serial number on top of being a replacement note, that can really help out a lot. Otherwise, I'm going to hold on to it, though. I love Star Notes. Nothing crazy. A little shift in the seal here. Some 7s, some 5s, but nothing to talk about. Nothing going on in the back. A little bit of excess of ink here. That's normal. It's not an ink transfer. Those are when they stack the bills right after printing them. They transfer over wet ink. But in that case, it's actually just excessive ink from the reverse. Lots of damage here on the front, so it's hard to tell if there's anything going on here with those folds and that tear. Back of the note. Keep an eye out around the Great Seal, but I mentioned that a lot. Other places, because people were like, you always say that. I like to keep an eye out around just overall print, of course, for shifts. That's a big thing with the reverses of notes that I see as common, especially on ones, since there's so many printed. That's a common one. Misaligned prints, and then ink issues. Yeah, some 5s, some 3s. They're sitting a little high, the serial numbers, that is, and you can see a little shift in the seal up here. Back of the note, discolored from water damage, so this thing's just old. You can tell from how it's kind of flopping over. It's seen its day despite really not being crazy old, but 2009 is getting there. Well, for money. 2021, nothing in the serial number. Flipping it up. Reverse, other things, issues with the ink, like if you see, in this case, Washington's portrait coming through the back of the note, where you can apply that to any denomination. If you can make him out entirely, I've seen those sell as kind of like an excess of ink or kind of a print issue, since you can make out his portrait backward through the reverse of the note. But I don't see him sell for crazy money, nor have I seen it be acknowledged as like an error by, PMG or something. Nothing crazy, a little tear up at the top there. So condition's a lot of it too when you're collecting notes, of course. If it's beat up, the less condition it is, the less valuable it's going to be for whatever it is. Nothing crazy there. 2021 series. We're getting through there. We're over halfway through, so not too bad of a video. Started off strong, a few bills in with that star note. I always like finding those. Nothing crazy jumping out. Some 2s, some 8s. If we wouldn't have had this 6 in here, I would have even kept it. Well, either way, I would like to have a trinary with just 3 digits. So really the 6 and the 4 would have to get out of there. But in this case, not so much. Pretty decent condition though, so definitely worth $1. 1994 keep an eye out for date notes. This is not one of them, but if you have month, day, then year, a lot of people like those birthday notes, or if they're historically important dates, if you have a tombstone note, which is like the lifespan of someone, those are really neat. But birthday notes and date notes, whatever you want to refer to them as, those are real good ones, especially if they are a date for something really important in American history when it comes to historical stuff. And then birthday notes are always popular. $10, I'm a little richer than I thought. Nice picture of the U.S. Treasury on the back. It's actually a much more stark building than this picture even makes it look, but I don't even think these trees are there, but maybe I'm wrong. When I go visit D.C., though, I'll get some footage of that and various things you can see around that are all money related. Getting down there. Last few, looks like $50. Gonna go towards some groceries. 5s, 3s, 4s. If I wouldn't have had this 8, I would have held on to it for sure. I like those kind of serial numbers. Lincoln Memorial on the back, can't go wrong with that. I've been there a bunch of times, always have liked it. It's always jam-packed with people. But in the morning, I found, early in the morning, when people are out jogging and being healthy, you go there and you stand around and there's far less people. Series 2021, 1700. Would have been cool to have a date note. Little bit of ink smear here. I'll bring it closer to the camera. Right around the tail there. But it's most likely just some ink kind of protruding through from these bushes here, if you notice the positioning of it. Other than that, back of the note, keep an eye out around kind of the more intricate detail, both in the Lincoln Memorial, as well as around the anti-counterfeiting measures, like these repetitious 5s. They form like a little... well, they call it a constellation called Urion, spelled E-U-R-I-O-N, but it's an anti-counterfeiting measure that's kind of right up in here. And then keep an eye out around kind of the border. Shifts in the print, misaligned prints, miscuts, those are kind of the big ones on reverses of 5s also. 0s, 3s, 6s, nothing jumping out. Last couple of bills, some $20 bills, White House. Never taken a tour, never been really up on it. I've seen from the White House yard, where everybody can, Pennsylvania Ave or whatever. Let me know if you've ever taken a tour. Nothing political. I just think it's a long-standing building in the country and would be really cool to actually walk through just for a history aspect. Let's see, missing a digit from a broken ladder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Missing a 6, 7, 8, 9. Nothing crazy, too damaged up on the front to see anything to call home about. Back of the note, of course, same picture there. Check around the since there is an instance of a slight little, I won't even pull it close, you can see a little tiny dab. If it was a bigger smear, so keep an eye out around these trees, keep an eye out around the intricate detail points of the White House. If there are excessive ink smears, those can go for pretty good money as a reverse error to look for on 20s. Those are good areas, as well as the repetitious 20s there. But not too crazy of a bill search. What are we holding on to? Nice little star note, 2021 series. The only crazy thing about these ones for 2021 was when it's the first time ever that 2 women, their signatures were featured on notes. So that's kind of cool. It's a little factor, but doesn't really drive value. Star notes are neat, very collectible. We'll look this one up. I'll put the information in the description box as well. So that way you know what's going on with it if it's a little more extra funky and cool than your standard star note. So let's look it up. Let's see what's going on with it. But meanwhile, jump in the comments and let me know what you've come across in your collectible searches, because I love reading about that stuff.